Happy birthday. AmeriCorps is about to celebrate its 25th anniversary. For 25 years, AmeriCorps members have been working across our nation to make a difference, rebuilding communities and homes after natural disasters, helping our veterans find meaningful work, tutoring students in schools, and so much more. As someone who helped launch one of the first national direct AmeriCorps programs nearly a quarter century ago, I've seen firsthand the wonderful impact that AmeriCorps members make on our communities and the ways in which they gain life-changing and positive skills. I've been so impressed with the AmeriCorps members I've met over the years that I've hired several to work for me on my team here in Washington and in Wilmington, Delaware. So to help celebrate the 25th anniversary, I thought we should hear from them directly to learn more about their service in AmeriCorps and how their time as AmeriCorps members built the foundation for their future success.
Without a doubt, the unbridled joy that my students could bring to any given day. I distinctly remember one spring afternoon where we were studying how energy can be lost across trophic levels in an ecosystem, some really geeky stuff. And we went outside for the simulation, and over the course of it, students ended up running around the parking lot and sort of collapsing with laughter as they lost all of the energy all over the parking lot. And when we went back inside and were talking through the content that we were supposed to be exploring that day, I just had this really, really positive sense of this was a lot of fun, this was a good day for them, for me, and a very productive day. And that joy was just something that's really distinctive.
The best thing about being an AmeriCorps member was the outpouring of gratitude that came from the communities. I remember a particular time, multiple times actually, going grocery shopping with my team, and people saw us in our FEMA Corps shirts and knew that we were there working on the disaster and paid for all of our groceries. There were moments like that, people just thanking us randomly on the streets, breaking down in tears, just letting us know how much our work means to them and their communities.
Well, one of the best things that I can think of about my time in AmeriCorps, the best thing about being in AmeriCorps is I had the opportunity to work with folks that I might not have been able to work with in any other circumstances. My AmeriCorps group were individuals from all over the country. Even though I did AmeriCorps in my home state, I got to meet folks from New York, New Jersey, and other parts of the country. And they're a group of individuals that I still maintain contact with and I talk to throughout the year.
The best part about being in AmeriCorps Vista was living in an amazing part of the country with some great people and knowing that I had a chance to increase the capacity and the ability to help people who just experienced one of the worst things that they'd ever experienced as a family. And I was able to either help them after that or help prepare some families for that disaster.
The times I thought that I was able to contribute to the biggest change was when I would stand with my students and with the community to advocate for change. There was one year where a state Supreme Court decision introduced a lot of tumult to the school district, to our school in particular, and to the community more broadly. And a lot of my students were interested in exploring some of the legal ramifications of that decision. And so we spent a lot of afternoons together going over news reports, going over the decision, and then in the spring actually going to the state capitol and sitting down with the state commissioner of education. And a group of about a dozen students each got to share their perspective on the law underlying the decision, on how the law's implementation had impacted their community, and how they hoped it might be different going forward. And that was a really powerful experience and one that I hope made possible for my students a sense that they could change the way that the law was impacting the community going forward.
One day that really stands out was an independent service project with Camp Corey, which is a program for differently abled children. And they had their family day and their open house. So they had some of their alumni as well as some families that were looking into the camp. And basically we just had a fun day. And we ran all these games and it was a carnival type atmosphere and it was really fun. And a moment from that day that really stands out was a child that came up to me and thanked me because it was the first time he was able to actually play with his brother. and it was just a humbling experience.
I made a difference in AmeriCorps in my program, which was a partnership with Delaware State Parks, heavy in education. So myself and my fellow AmeriCorps members, we were serving as educators at some of the nature and historic sites in the state that wouldn't have had the funding to have educators in those positions.
I think I was able to make a difference in two ways. One, we worked with a number of families, with a bunch of companies and a bunch of nonprofits in the area, ranging from churches to more local nonprofits that serve the community needs. We were able to help them prepare for disasters, but also able to get some of them engaged in responding to disasters, whether with single-family house fires or floods. The other way I was able to be, I think, most helpful was there was a large flood in the area that washed away a number of homes in the 5-county Eastern Kentucky region, and we were able to put together a long-term response committee of churches, nonprofits, companies to help some of this family deal with some of the needs that were going to last months, if not years, into the future, and make sure that once the Red Cross left the immediate response, those families were able to put together their lives to the best that they could with a number of coordinated resources from places in the community.
There's something incredibly humbling about coming to work every day and having 180 or 200 students look to you to structure a part of their day and trust you to be equipping them with the skills and the knowledge that they're going to need later in life. And I think being trusted and having the privilege of that opportunity was deeply humbling and left a mark on me.
AmeriCorps taught me how to navigate the professional environment. It gave me the soft skills and the hard skills to be able to thrive in an environment like this right now, working on the Hill. If I wasn't working in that office space, I probably wouldn't possess the skills that are necessary to succeed in this environment now.
Serving in AmeriCorps definitely changed my outlook on life and kind of set me into the career path that I'm in now, where I definitely firmly believe that there are many ways to serve your country. I was in the military and that was one, but I learned through AmeriCorps that that's not the only option. That our country has, which is so vast and so large, there's many different places to serve others inside the country and outside the country, and AmeriCorps is one of those ways. If anybody was thinking about doing some sort of service, I would definitely encourage them to do AmeriCorps. It just reaches a different audience, there's more tangible results, and you can see the changes in the communities that you're working in when you leave.
When I moved to Eastern Kentucky, I learned about a culture and a people and a lifestyle and a mentality that I never would have learned about otherwise. And the community in Eastern Kentucky welcomed me in, had me over to their house, invited me to church dinners, and taught me about love and respect and the work ethic that I never would have learned otherwise.
AmeriCorps brings people together, people from different communities, different states, different cultures and backgrounds. And it was the time in my life where I was challenged to grow and to understand more of all of the diversity that exists in this country.
AmeriCorps is so important because it gives people from different backgrounds the opportunity to make something of themselves. There are a lot of people who come from nothing. I served with people who came from less than nothing, and AmeriCorps was the only opportunity that they had to go into a professional environment, learn the skills necessary to become a productive member of society. There was one girl on my team in particular who now works for FEMA as a result of her AmeriCorps experience. And without AmeriCorps, she would not have had that opportunity, and we don't know where she would be.
AmeriCorps is important to our country because it gives the next generation an opportunity to serve. I served in the military, and that's one form of service, but it's not the only one. There are many different ways that folks can serve their nation and give back to the community, whether it's their community or a community in a different state. It's just an amazingly powerful program that I'm so glad that I did, and I would encourage anybody who is thinking about serving to go and do AmeriCorps. The beauty of AmeriCorps is you can serve for summertime, you can serve for a year, there's the option to extend an extra year, and while you're giving back and you're teaching and helping a different community, you're also getting something back yourself because you're learning about working with different people. And on top of that, the education stipend benefits is also really great.
My staff and I wish AmeriCorps happy birthday. Here's to 25 more great years of getting things done for America.